The current was stronger than usual that spring afternoon. Olivia Manning stood on the banks of the Clearwater River, her fishing rod forgotten as she looked across the rippling water. Her cabin retreat was meant to be a break from her work at the aerospace company, where she had spent the last 3 years designing systems to keep people alive during long space missions. A flash of color caught her eye downstream, something bright pink moving against the current. Then another splash of the same color. Olivia looked harder, then dropped her rod when she realized what she was seeing. Those weren't branches or trash. Those were children. Help! A small voice carried across the water, almost drowned out by the rushing current. Please help! Without thinking twice, Olivia kicked off her boots and jumped into the cold water. The shock of cold took her breath away, but her military training took over right away. As a former Air Force rescue worker before her engineering job, she knew exactly what to do. The twin girls with matching blonde pigtails and pink swimsuits were being pulled further downstream every second. The first child had grabbed onto a half-sunken log but was losing her grip. The second was already past it, fully caught in the current. Olivia reached the first girl in 12 strong strokes. Hold on to my shoulders, she said calmly, though her heart was racing. I've got you. What's your name? Amy, the girl said between sobs. My sister is Lily. Please save her. I will, Olivia promised, already figuring out the fastest way to reach the second child. Wrap your arms around my neck and hold tight. With Amy holding onto her back, Olivia pushed forward against the current, her muscles burning with effort. Lily had gone around a bend in the river. When Olivia went around the same curve, she saw the girl's pink swimsuit just as she went under the water. Diving forward with one arm still holding Amy, Olivia reached under the surface and felt her hand grab fabric. She pulled with all her strength, bringing Lily's head above water. The child wasn't moving. The shore, Olivia gasped. We need to get to shore now. Using every bit of her remaining strength, she moved toward the riverbank, finally pulling all 3 of them onto a sandy stretch. She laid Lily down gently, and right away began CPR, while Amy watched with scared eyes. Come on, Lily, Olivia whispered between pushes on her chest. Breathe for me. After what felt like forever, Lily coughed and water came from her mouth. Her eyes opened slowly, and Olivia almost fell over with relief. Where's Daddy? Lily asked in a weak voice. We were playing by the shallow part, Amy explained, her teeth chattering from cold. Lily dropped her doll in the water, and when she tried to get it, the river took you both, Olivia finished, putting her arms around the shaking girls. It's okay now, you're safe, let's find your dad. Little did Olivia know that the girl's father had already been told what happened, and he was a man who had resources few could imagine. When the paramedics arrived 10 minutes later, they found Olivia sitting with the twins wrapped in her fishing jacket, telling them stories to keep them calm. The first ambulance took the girls, while a second one was called for Olivia, who had a cut on her head from hitting a rock during the rescue. You're a hero, one paramedic told her as they checked her blood pressure. Olivia shook her head. I just did what anyone would do. Not everyone knows rescue breathing or would jump into rapids, he said. Those girls are alive because of you. As Olivia was loaded into the second ambulance, a black helicopter appeared overhead, landing in a clear area nearby. A tall man in an expensive but wrinkled suit jumped out, running toward the first ambulance. That's their father, the paramedic explained. Noah Bennett. He owns half the valley and about a dozen companies. Those little girls are his whole world since his wife died. Olivia watched through the ambulance window as the man, Noah, climbed into the first ambulance with his daughters. His face showed both fear and relief. Will they be okay? She asked the paramedic. Thanks to you, yes. The little one might have some water in her lungs, but they caught it early. They'll be fine. At the hospital, doctors insisted Olivia needed to stay overnight for watching. She had a mild concussion from hitting her head during the rescue. She was arguing with the doctor when she noticed someone standing in the doorway of her room, the same tall man from the helicopter. Their eyes met, and for a moment neither spoke. They're okay, Noah finally said, his voice rough with feeling. Because of you, they're okay. I'm glad, Olivia said simply. They're brave girls. Noah stepped into the room, his hands deep in his pockets like he didn't know what to do with them. The doctors told me what you did. The CPR. Swimming against the current with one child while saving the other. He paused. I don't know how to thank you. No thanks needed, Olivia said. I'm just happy I was there. Few people would have had the skills or courage to do what you did, Noah said. You saved my world today. My daughters are all I have left. Something in his voice made Olivia look at him more closely. Beyond the obvious signs of wealth, the expensive watch, the tailored suit, she saw a father who had almost lost everything. There was a depth to his eyes that spoke of someone who understood loss. I'd like to help in any way I can, Noah continued. Medical bills, of course, but anything else you might need. That's not necessary, Olivia cut in gently. Really, I don't need anything. Noah seemed taken aback, like he wasn't used to people refusing his help or his money. At least tell me your name. Olivia Manning. Olivia, he repeated as if testing the sound of it. My daughters will want to thank you themselves when they're feeling better. They haven't stopped talking about the river lady. Despite her headache, Olivia smiled. The river lady? Their words, not mine, Noah said, a small smile finally appearing on his tired face. Before either could say more, a nurse appeared to check Olivia's vitals, and Noah stepped back. I should get back to the girls, but this conversation isn't over, Ms. Manning. As he left, Olivia lay back against the hospital pillows, wondering what exactly she had gotten herself into by saving those two little girls. Something told her that Noah Bennett wasn't a man who gave up easily once he set his mind to something, and right now his mind seemed set on her. Noah Bennett paced the private hospital floor, his usual calm completely gone. His security chief, Frank, stood nearby, phone pressed to his ear. They've been found, sir, Frank said. Both girls are alive. A woman pulled them from the river. Noah stopped walking, his hand against the wall to steady himself. Where are they now? Being brought here. The woman who saved them, she did CPR on Lily. The medical team says she likely saved her life. For a man worth $23 billion, who had built the world's first space mining business from nothing, Noah found himself without words. The twins were his whole world. All he had left after his wife Caroline had died 3 years ago from a rare cancer. The thought of losing them too had almost broken him. I want to know everything about this woman, Noah finally said. Frank nodded. Already working on it, sir. Within minutes, Noah's tablet showed a basic profile. Olivia Manning, 32, former Air Force captain with the Rescue Division, now an aerospace engineer working on life support systems. Several awards during her military service, currently on break from Horizon Aerospace Technologies. Noah studied her photo. Dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, green eyes, and a look that showed capability rather than wanting attention. Something about her stirred a feeling in him that had been asleep for a long time. The hospital doors opened as his daughters arrived on wheeled beds, medical staff quickly moving them to the private wing Noah had arranged. Both girls were awake, though Lily looked much worse. Daddy, Amy cried when she saw him, arms stretched out. Noah hugged his daughters carefully, mindful of the IV tubes. I'm here, sweethearts. I'm right here. The river lady saved us, Lily whispered in a rough voice. She was so brave, Daddy. Like a superhero. Noah looked around. Where is she? The woman who saved you? She rode in the other ambulance, Amy explained. She hit her head on a rock when she was getting us out. Noah's stomach tightened. He hadn't even thought that their rescuer might be hurt. He immediately sent Frank to find Olivia and make sure she got the best care possible. What he didn't expect was to find himself standing in her hospital room an hour later, watching her argue with a doctor who was telling her she should stay overnight for watching. I'm fine, Olivia was saying firmly. Just a small head bump. I've had worse from training. You need rest, the doctor countered. I need to know if those girls are okay, Olivia replied, trying to sit up. That's when she noticed Noah standing in the doorway, His expensive suit wrinkled from hours of worried pacing. Their eyes met, and for a moment, neither spoke. "They're okay," Noah finally said, his voice rough with emotion. "Because of you, they're okay." The next morning, Noah made sure his personal assistant Diana was waiting when Olivia was released from the hospital. Despite Olivia's protests that she could get her own ride, Diana drove her to what she called Mr. Bennett's local home, which turned out to be a huge estate overlooking the river from its highest point. Security guards nodded as the car passed through large gates. "This is a bit much," Olivia said as they pulled up to the main house, an amazing building of glass and stone that seemed to grow out of the landscape. "Mr. Bennett calls it enough privacy," Diana replied with a small smile. Noah was waiting in what he probably thought was a casual setting, a sunny room with floor-to-ceiling windows showing a view of the river where Olivia had pulled his daughters from the water. Amy and Lily sat on either side of him on a large couch, both looking much better. "River lady," Lily shouted, jumping up to run toward Olivia. Olivia knelt down to receive the child's eager hug, smiling as Amy joined her sister. "Hello again. You two are looking much better." "The doctors said we're super strong," Amy told her proudly. Noah stood, and Olivia was struck by how different he seemed from the worried father she'd seen at the hospital. Here, in his own place, Noah Bennett had a quiet confidence that got attention without demanding it. "Ms. Manning," he said, stepping forward to offer his hand. "I don't have enough words to thank you for what you did." His hand was warm and his grip firm, the hand of someone who'd worked hard before success had found him. Olivia found herself noticing such details right away, a habit from her military days of sizing people up quickly. Anyone would have done the same, she replied. Noah's look suggested he strongly disagreed. Few would have had the skills. Fewer still would have risked their own safety without thinking twice. He pointed toward comfortable chairs. "Please sit. Can we get you anything? Coffee, tea?" The next hour passed in surprisingly easy conversation. The twins eagerly told their version of the rescue, making Olivia sound like a mythical water goddess. Noah mostly listened, his eyes rarely leaving Olivia's face as she gently corrected the more fantastical parts of the girl's story. Eventually, Diana came to take the twins for their scheduled rest time, leaving Olivia alone with Noah. "They're wonderful children," Olivia said after they'd gone. "You must be very proud." "They're my whole world," Noah replied simply. Then, after a moment's pause, "They haven't stopped talking about you. The river lady who isn't afraid of anything." Olivia laughed. "I was scared the entire time. I just didn't have the luxury of showing it." "That's courage in its purest form." Noah leaned forward slightly. "We know very little about each other, Ms. Manning, but I'd like to change that. Not just because of what you did for my family, but because people like you are rare in my experience." "People like me?" "People who act without figuring out what's in it for them, who see others in danger and move toward them rather than away." His expression grew thoughtful. "In my position, real connections are hard to form." Olivia studied him for a moment. "Mr. Bennett." "Noah, please." "Noah. I appreciate the thought, but I'm not looking for rewards or special treatment." "I'm not offering either," he replied very directly. "Just dinner, a conversation. Nothing more, nothing less." Olivia found herself interested despite her natural caution. There was something compelling about Noah Bennett beyond his obvious wealth, a depth of character that matched the intensity of his gaze. "Dinner," she agreed finally. "But somewhere normal, please. No private helicopters or fancy restaurants." For the first time, Noah smiled fully, changing his serious expression. "I know, a place that makes great burgers. The twins and I go there in disguise sometimes when we need to feel normal. Now that," Olivia said, returning his smile, "sounds perfect." "Tomorrow night?" Noah asked. "I'd suggest tonight, but the doctors want the girls to rest one more day." "Tomorrow works," Olivia agreed. As Diana drove her back to her riverside cabin, Olivia wondered what she was getting herself into. Her plan had been 2 weeks of quiet fishing, hiking, and reading, not saving drowning children or having dinner with billionaires. But there was something about Noah Bennett that made her curious. Not his money or his power, but the man underneath. The father, who clearly loved his daughters more than anything. The self-made man who seemed genuinely interested in who she was, not just what she had done. Ms. Manning? Diana's voice broke into her thoughts as they pulled up to her cabin. Mr. Bennett asked me to give you this. She handed Olivia a small, simple envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. Thank you for giving me back my world. Noah. No grand gestures, no expensive gifts, just honest words of thanks. Olivia smiled. As she walked into her cabin, maybe dinner tomorrow wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. The normal burger place turned out to be a small diner 30 miles from town, where the owner greeted Noah with a casual nod rather than special treatment. Olivia was surprised to find herself relaxing as Noah put aside his billionaire image and showed glimpses of the real man, a father who clearly loved his daughters, a businessman who talked with passion about space exploration, and someone who listened to her stories with real interest. So you left the Air Force to build systems that keep people alive in space, Noah said after she explained her job path. That's quite a journey. Olivia shrugged. I wanted to save lives before they needed saving, stop problems before they happen. And yet you still jumped into a river without thinking twice. Some habits are hard to break, she admitted. What about you? How does someone go from wherever you started to building the first working space rock mining operation? Noah's eyes crinkled at the corners. You really don't know my story? It was all over the business news a few years ago. I was probably deployed, or more likely completely not interested in business news. He laughed, a genuine sound that seemed to surprise even him. Fair enough. The short version is, foster kid with a love for space and rocks, full school money to MIT, several big failures, one big success, and then a lot of being in the right place at the right time with the right idea. And the long version? Would take more than one dinner to tell. Their eyes met over what was left of their meal, and Olivia felt something between them that had nothing to do with thanks or duty. The moment was broken by Noah's phone. He looked at it, frowning. I'm sorry, I need to take this. It's the girls, Nanny. As he stepped away to take the call, Olivia found herself watching him, the way his shoulders got tense as he listened, how his free hand moved as he spoke. For all his wealth and power, there was something very human about Noah Bennett that she hadn't expected. He came back looking sorry. I need to cut our evening short. Lily has a slight fever, probably just a delayed reaction to yesterday, but... Of course, Olivia said right away. You should be with her. Noah insisted on driving her back to her cabin himself rather than calling for a car. The drive was mostly quiet, but comfortably so. When they arrived, he walked her to the door. I'd like to see you again, he said simply. Olivia paused. Noah, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. My life is in Houston. This, whatever this is, it can't really go anywhere. 2 weeks is plenty of time to get to know someone, he said. As for the rest, I have ways to make distance not a problem. That's exactly what worries me, she admitted. Your world and mine are completely different. Noah stepped closer. Are they? We both dedicated our lives to pushing the limits of human survival in harsh places. We both value being prepared, new ideas, and protecting what matters most. His voice softened. And I think we're both alone in ways few people would understand. Before Olivia could respond, her phone rang with a video call from Horizon Aerospace's emergency line. She frowned, answering right away. Manning, she said crisply. The face of her project leader appeared, looking serious. Olivia, I'm sorry to interrupt your time off, but we have a critical problem with the life support system. The backup systems failed during extended testing, and we've got space crew scheduled to train with it next month. Noah watched as Olivia's expression changed from personal to professional in an instant. Send me the test data, she said. I'll review it tonight. After ending the call, she turned to Noah with an apologetic smile. Duty calls. To her surprise, Noah didn't seem disappointed, but rather impressed. I understand completely. Lives depend on what you do. He stepped back respectfully. Check on Lily tomorrow? The girls would love to see you. I'd like that, Olivia found herself saying. As Noah drove away, Olivia stood on her porch, watching his car lights disappear around the bend. Her life had taken an unexpected turn in the span of 2 days. She wondered what the next 2 weeks might bring. Inside her cabin, Olivia's laptop was already receiving the test data from Horizon. As she settled into work, she realized she was smiling. Perhaps their worlds weren't so different after all. The next morning, Olivia drove to Noah's estate, bringing some homemade soup her mother had taught her to make for sick children. The security guards recognized her car and waved her through without stopping. Diana met her at the door with a grateful smile. Lily's fever broke overnight, but she'll be glad to see you. They both will. Olivia followed Diana through the large house to a cozy room painted in soft blues and greens, where the twins were sitting up in matching beds watching a movie. Their faces lit up when they saw her. "River lady," they cried together. "I heard someone wasn't feeling well," Olivia said, holding up her container. "So I brought some magic soup." Lily's eyes widened. "Is it really magic? My mom always said it was. Made me feel better every time." Amy patted the space between their beds. "Sit with us. We're watching our favorite movie." For the next hour, Olivia sat between the girls, answering their endless questions about space, flying planes, and whether fish got scared when it rained too hard. Their innocent curiosity made her laugh more than she had in months. She didn't notice Noah standing in the doorway until he spoke. "Having fun?" All three turned to look at him. He was dressed casually in jeans and a simple button-up shirt, looking more like a regular dad than a business titan. "Daddy!" "River lady brought magic soup," Lily announced. "Did she now?" Noah's eyes met Olivia's over the girls' heads, warm with something more than gratitude. "Well, we should make sure you eat every drop then." After lunch, when the twins went for their afternoon nap, Noah invited Olivia to walk with him through the grounds. The estate had beautiful gardens leading down toward the river, with paths winding through trees and flower beds. "Thank you for coming today," Noah said as they walked. "And for the soup. The kitchen staff were quite impressed with your recipe." Olivia laughed. "It's just chicken soup with a few extra things. Nothing fancy." Sometimes the simplest things are the most meaningful. Noah stopped at a bench overlooking the river, like jumping in to save someone in trouble. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the river flow by below, the same river that had brought them together. "I saw your work last night," Noah said finally. "The life support system blueprints." Olivia looked at him in surprise. "How did you—" "Bennett Aerospace is a major investor in Horizon Technologies," he explained. "I'm on their board. When they mentioned your name, I realized the connection." "Is that why you asked me to dinner? Because of my work?" Noah shook his head firmly. "I asked you to dinner because you saved my daughters. I only made the work connection afterward." He turned to face her more directly. "But now that I know, I have a proposition for you." "A proposition?" Olivia raised an eyebrow. "A professional one," Noah clarified. "My company needs someone with your expertise, and I think you might be interested in what we're building." "Which is?" Noah's eyes lit up with passion. "The future of human life in space." 3 days later, Olivia stood on the observation deck of Noah's private space launch site, watching as his company's newest shuttle prepared for its test flight. The twins stood on either side of her, Amy holding her hand while Lily pressed against her side. "Is it scary to go to space?" Lily asked, her voice quiet with wonder as they watched workers moving around the sleek ship. "A little," Olivia admitted. "But mostly it's exciting, like finding a new world." "Dad says you fixed our spaceship," Amy said proudly. Olivia smiled. "I just helped with one system. Your dad's engineers are very smart. They would have figured it out eventually." What she didn't say was how shocked she'd been when Noah had shown her his company's newest shuttle 2 days ago. He had explained that they were having problems with the life support system, exactly what she specialized in. What had started as a simple look at the problem had quickly turned into Olivia finding a critical design flaw that would have delayed the launch by months. The door behind them opened, and Noah entered, looking more relaxed than she'd seen him. Yet, the launch director says we're on schedule. Your changes are working perfectly in pre-flight tests. The way he looked at her made Olivia's heart beat faster. Over the past few days, they'd spent every day together, sometimes with the twins, sometimes alone. They'd talked for hours about everything, her military experiences, his childhood dreams of space, her parents' small farm in Ohio, his struggles as a single father. And yet they'd both been careful to keep a certain distance, aware that she was due to return to Houston in just 9 days. "Come to dinner tonight," Noah said suddenly. "At the house. Something important I want to discuss with you." The test launch was perfect. As they watched the shuttle arc gracefully into the upper sky, Noah's hand found hers, their fingers linking naturally. The twins cheered, jumping up and down, but Olivia was aware only of Noah's touch and the choice that was quickly approaching. That evening, after the twins were asleep, Noah led Olivia to his study, a warm room filled with books and star charts, rather than the cold showroom she might have expected. "I've been thinking about what happens when your vacation ends," he said directly. Olivia took a deep breath. "Noah, please hear me out," he said gently. "I'm not going to suggest anything dramatic like moving to Houston or asking you to move here. We've known each other for 6 days. That would be crazy." She couldn't help laughing. "I'm glad we agree on that." Noah smiled, then grew serious again. "But I think we've found something rare, Olivia, something worth exploring." He reached for a folder on his desk. "So I'd like to offer you a suggestion, for your job and for us." He handed her the folder. Inside was a plan for a joint project between Bennett Aerospace and Horizon Technologies. Specifically, a new group focused on developing next-generation life support systems for long-term space living, with Olivia named as the project director. "You'd split your time between Houston and here," Noah explained. "Building something that could change humanity's future in space while we figure out if whatever is happening between us has a future too." He took her hands in his. No pressure, no must-dos, just possibility. Olivia studied his face, the hope there, the openness beneath the confidence. "You're offering me my dream job." "I'm offering you the job you were born to do," he corrected. "Whether or not there's anything between us, this project makes sense. Your knowledge, my resources. We could save countless lives by changing how humans survive beyond Earth." "And the twins?" she asked softly. Noah's expression softened. "They adore you, but they've lost enough in their lives that I would never bring someone into their world without being certain." Olivia was quiet for a long moment, thinking. A week ago, she'd been a woman on vacation, fishing alone by a river. Now she stood at a crossroads she'd never expected. "I don't need an answer tonight," Noah said. "Take the plan back to Houston. Talk about it with your company. Think about what you want." Olivia set the folder down and moved closer to him. "I know what I want for my job. This project is exactly what I've been working toward my entire career." "And for us?" Noah asked, his voice low. "For us," she said, meeting his gaze directly. "I think possibility is a beautiful place to start." As Noah's arms went around her, Olivia thought about the river current that had brought those 2 little girls into her life. How a single moment of courage had changed everything. Sometimes, she realized, the most important journeys began with a jump into unknown waters. The next morning, Olivia woke up in her cabin to the sound of her phone ringing. It was her boss from Horizon. "Manning, I just got a very interesting call from Noah Bennett," he said without greeting. "Is there something you want to tell me about your vacation?" Olivia laughed. "It's been eventful, so I gather." "Bennett says you single-handedly solved the Artemis module issue and now you want to head up a joint venture between our companies?" "Actually," he offered, "and I'm thinking about it." Her boss was quiet for a moment. "Olivia, this could be huge for Horizon, and for your career. But I have to ask, is this just business? Olivia looked out her window at the river flowing past her cabin. No, she said honestly. It's not just business. I see. Another pause. Well, the board wants to meet with you as soon as you get back. This project could be exactly what we need to secure the Mars contract. After hanging up, Olivia sat on her porch thinking. Her practical side told her she was moving too fast. Her professional side was thrilled at the opportunity. And her heart was drawn to a man and two little girls who had crashed into her life like a meteor, changing its path completely. Her thoughts were interrupted by the sound of a car coming up her driveway. Noah's car. He stepped out, followed by the twins in matching blue dresses. Amy was carrying a picnic basket while Lily held a bunch of wildflowers. We thought you might like some company today, Noah called. River Lady. Lily ran forward, offering the flowers. We picked these for you. Dad says you're thinking about working with him, Amy said, giving her the most serious look a 7-year-old could manage. Does that mean you'll stay? Olivia knelt down to their level. I'm thinking about it. Would you like that? Both girls nodded enthusiastically. Very much, Noah added quietly, his eyes meeting hers over the twins' heads. As they spread the picnic on her porch overlooking the river, Olivia realized something important. She had spent her entire career building systems to keep people alive in space. But these 3 people were showing her something even more important, what made life worth living in the first place. 7 days ago, she had jumped into a river to save 2 little girls. Now they were saving her from a life that, while successful, had been missing the connection she felt right here, right now on this porch. The rest, the job, the logistics, the future, could be figured out. For now, this was enough. 2 weeks had passed since the day Olivia had pulled 2 little girls from the river. Today was supposed to be her last day in River Valley before returning to Houston. Her suitcase sat packed by the door of her cabin, but her heart was not ready to leave. The past week had been a whirlwind. After Noah had proposed the joint project between their companies, Olivia had spent hours on video calls with her bosses at Horizon. They were excited about the partnership with Bennett Aerospace and had agreed to everything Noah had proposed, including her position as project director. You don't have to decide today, Noah had told her yesterday as they walked along the riverbank. The offer stands whether you go back to Houston tomorrow or not. But Olivia knew she needed to make a choice. Her apartment lease in Houston was ending next month. Her team at Horizon was waiting for direction on the new project, and 2 little girls had asked her every day for the past week if she was really leaving. The sound of tires on gravel pulled her from her thoughts. Noah's car was coming up the driveway, but this time he was alone. Olivia stepped out onto the porch to meet him. No twins today? She asked as he got out of the car. Noah shook his head. They're with Diana. I wanted to talk to you alone before you make your decision. They sat together on the porch swing, looking out at the river that had brought them together. I thought I knew exactly what my life would be, Olivia said after a moment of silence. I had my career planned out. I knew where I was going. And now? Noah asked quietly. Now I'm not sure. This project is an amazing opportunity, but you're worried about us, Noah finished for her. About getting involved with me while working together. About the twins getting attached. Olivia nodded. All of that. What if it doesn't work out? What if we try and fail? I'd be risking my career and my heart at the same time. Noah was quiet for a long moment, thinking. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, smooth riverstone. The twins found this yesterday. They said it reminded them of you, strong and solid. He placed it in her palm. I've learned that life doesn't give guarantees, Olivia. When Caroline died, I thought my world had ended. I was running a company and suddenly raising 2 little girls alone. I had no idea if I was doing anything right. You did everything right, Olivia said softly. They're amazing children. But I was terrified every day, Noah admitted. I still am sometimes. Being a parent means living with your heart outside your body, Loving someone means taking risks. He took her hand, the river stone between their palms. I'm not asking you to decide about us. I'm just asking you to give the project a chance. Stay. Work with my team. See if we can build something amazing. Together. Professionally. The rest can happen if and when it feels right. Olivia looked into his eyes and saw the same combination of strength and honesty that had first drawn her to him. You make it sound so simple. It's not simple, Noah said. It's terrifying. Believe me, opening my heart again after Caroline is the scariest thing I've ever done. But some risks are worth taking. Before Olivia could answer, her phone rang. It was Diana. Ms. Manning. Diana's voice was tight with worry. Is Noah with you, the twins? They've gone missing. Olivia felt her blood run cold. What happened? They were playing in the garden. I stepped inside for just a minute to answer the phone. When I came back out, Diana's voice broke. I've searched everywhere. Security is looking too. Noah had already taken the phone. We're on our way, call the sheriff too. As they raced back to the estate in Noah's car, Olivia's mind was working quickly. The river, she said suddenly. Noah, they might have gone to the river. Noah's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Why would they go there? Lily kept talking about her doll, the one she lost when they fell in. She asked me yesterday if I thought it might have washed up somewhere. Noah pressed down on the gas pedal. Which part of the river? The bend where I found them. There's a sandbar where things collect. When they reached the estate, instead of going to the house, Noah drove straight to the path leading down to the river. They ran through the trees, calling the girls' names. The path opened up to the riverbank. At first, Olivia saw nothing. Then she spotted them, two small figures on the sandbar in the middle of the river. The water was lower today, making the sandbar larger than the day of the rescue, but the current around it was still strong. Amy! Lily! Noah shouted. The twins looked up and waved. Daddy! We found it! Lily was holding up a soggy pink object, her lost doll. Don't move! Olivia called. Stay exactly where you are. The sandbar was about 20 feet from the shore. The water between wasn't deep, but it was flowing fast enough to sweep away a child. I'm going to get them, Noah said, already pulling off his shoes. We both are, Olivia replied, doing the same. Together, they waded into the river, the cold, water swirling around their legs. They moved carefully, testing each step before putting their weight down. Hold hands, Olivia instructed Noah. If one of us slips, the other can steady them. When they reached the sandbar, the twins rushed toward them. Lily was clutching her wet doll while Amy looked guilty. We're sorry, Amy said. We just wanted to find Dolly. We didn't go in the deep part, Lily added. We remembered what the river lady taught us. Noah knelt down, his face a mix of relief and worry. You scared us very badly. You know you're not supposed to come to the river alone. We know, the girls said together, looking down. Let's get you home, Olivia said. We'll talk about this later. They made their way back across the river, Noah carrying Lily while Olivia helped Amy. When they reached the shore, security staff were running down the path toward them. Back at the house, after the twins had been dried off and given a serious talk about safety, Olivia found herself in Noah's study again. I've made my decision, she said. Noah looked up from his desk, where he'd been signing papers from the sheriff about the incident. About the project? About everything. Olivia stepped forward. I'm staying. Not just for the project, but for you. For the twins. For us. Noah stood, surprise and hope on his face. What made you decide? Today, when I heard they were missing, I felt the same fear you did. The same need to find them, to protect them. She took a deep breath. I realize they're not just your daughters anymore. They're part of my heart too now. Noah moved around the desk, taking her hands in his. And us? Us too. Olivia smiled. You were right. Some risks are worth taking. As Noah drew her into his arms, Olivia thought about how a simple fishing trip had changed everything. She had gone to the river looking for peace and quiet. Instead, she had found a family. Life, like the river, was full of unexpected currents. But with courage and an open heart, even the strongest waters could lead to wonderful new shores.